Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Georgia. I know what you guys are thinking. Spartan, where's all the new ships? They're expensive and I'm not going to rush my way through them because I ain't got that kind of money. Y'all know the deal. Anyway, plus I'm not really that interested in them. Like there's a couple of cruisers. Really, I don't play that many cruisers. Yes, they're American cruisers, so at least they're probably more my play style, but it just, I don't know, not that interested in them. At least not enough to rush and spend 27,000 gold for them anyway. But we're going to be in the Georgia. I went ahead, this was from this morning after the update. I went ahead and upgraded almost all of my American battleships with the Epic artillery mod. I don't have the legendary mod on anything yet. It's going to take time for me to get the steel to put the legendary mod on certain ships. Because, I mean, 2,500 steel a pop is pretty hefty. I do think that the damage is worth it. I'm just saying that, like, I'm not going to be able to do that. My main goal was to get as many of these mods on as possible. So I've got epic mods on all of my high-tier American battleships. All of my, let's see, I put it on the Conqueror, put an epic mod on the Conqueror, put an epic mod on the Yamato. So there's epic mods galore coming up to be showcased in the near future. So keep an eye out for plenty of interesting content in the near future. Even if there is a lot of cruisers out there, now is like the perfect time to potentially get these kind of videos because you're going to be able to slap some cruisers around. Now, obviously, the downside of that is if you don't get to slap them around, if you get a bunch of overpens, you're going to have a bad time. But don't forget, we are on the path to 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We are starting to get to that point where we're maybe lagging behind a little bit. So if you guys haven't yet, and you guys enjoy what I do, go ahead, punch that like button, punch that subscribe button. Join us on our path to 50,000 subscribers. Now, this Cleveland is going to be a gigantic pain in my neck. Like, this guy's got the RNG of the dreams. He just does. On every side, or every possible front. Dude is going to get, like, best possible RNG. Now, you guys know I am not much of a fan of the Georgia, but the Epic mod is what makes the Georgia amazing right now. Now, remember, I run a different build. I'm not running a full accuracy build, so keep that in mind as we play this game. We switched away from the accuracy build when Azure Lane, New Jersey came out. We are running Azure Lane, New Jersey on our Georgia, and we are going with the Epic artillery mod for that extra accuracy over time as we get damage. The Georgia, you're literally one salvo away from hitting 30k, potentially, if you get a good salvo from the Georgia. Georgia can absolutely bully people, but it can also be an absolute troll. And so we're going to be very aggressive early in this game. You can see that the enemy Nagato has pushed up as well. Our Malfi, this guy gets extremely lucky to not just be absolutely removed here. For him, he's probably very happy that the Nagato either just fired his guns at somebody else or is firing HE. Definitely saw HE, but I wasn't sure if it was the main guns or if it was the Nagato's secondaries, because he has a lot of big secondaries as well. But you can see we get hit with one shell immediately on fire. That's going to be a theme for this match. Now, the Georgia has a very good heal for the Americans. Like, Americans have a decent heal. Not quite on par with the British, but it's a pretty solid heal. It heals quite a bit. And the Georgia gets those heals back a little bit faster. Now here we got a beautiful look at a Gneisno. So we're going to try to get into the cap, start getting this cap, and we're going to try to get close to this island to keep the enemy Cleveland from being able to hit us. And you can see we're starting to get pretty good accuracy out of this thing. Once you start to get those procs of the Epic mod on the Georgia, this ship turns into a whole other monster. I've always said, like, the Georgia isn't that the Georgia's a bad ship. It's just not my favorite of the Tier 7 American ships, right? Like, I would legitimately play any of the other American Tier 7 ships, battleships, over top of the Georgia. That has started to change since the Epic mods. We started running, like, switching the Epic mod back and forth off my Kansas to my Georgia occasionally, and the difference is night and day. Like, once you start to proc those extra dispersion bonuses, it is disgusting what this ship is capable of. And the further into the match you go and the more damage you get, the more of that accuracy you do end up with. And, you know, when you only got 6 guns, you need all the accuracy you can get. And we're running, like I said, we're not running an accuracy build. Now imagine if we ran an accuracy build with this thing. I run a meme build on this for the damage, for the memes of it. Like, I don't care. I have plenty of American battleships that are built out for accuracy. The Georgia is solely for those ridiculous hits. Speaking of ridiculous hits, hello, New Jersey, how you doing? That's a fancy broadside you're showing me over there. Bonk. Okay, 3 hits, not bad. Only 4 guns over the front, so to get 3 hits, can't argue with that, right? That's about as good as you're going to get. And that's our second proc of the damage control, or of the damage control, of the artillery plotting rim. Now, that first shot seemed like it was pretty good. This guy's at 14.8 kilometers, so watch what this next shot can do. We fire the guns individually, and we're going to pull out and see if we can't get rear guns on the enemy Cleveland. And 18, 15, and then all fall short. Okay, fair enough. We've had some pretty good RNG. It's only right that we get some troll occasionally. Now we're going to start to pull away from the Cleveland here. We do get the rear turret of Justice out on the New Jersey, and of course they all fall short because reasons, things and stuff. It happens. RNG giveth, RNG taketh away. Am I right? And since RNG just took away, surely the next shot RNG is going to giveth. And yeah, we just absolutely smashed that man. Did you see that? Did you see that? Like, I know y'all saw that. Now remember, our meme build is solely for damage, right? So we are running Azure Lane, New Jersey. So any damage or any citadels beyond 10 kilometers are increased, or any shots beyond 10 kilometers have increased damage. Any citadels have increased damage. And if you citadel beyond 10 kilometers and you have the, I forget which one it is. I want to say it's the British cruiser, I want to say Azure Lane Neptune commander. The more health you lose, the more damage you deal. So, as I start to lose more and more health, I'm going to start doing more and more damage. So that's where this thing is just a meme. The longer, and you know I tend to be aggressive anyway, so every time these guys take a 1% of my health away, my shots start to do a little bit more damage. We're already up to 121,000. We haven't even got that many hits. We only got 27 hits in this. That's the crazy part. We've only hit 27 shells, and we got 121,000 damage. That's crazy. Of course, this guy's this broadside, you're done. Sorry, buddy. You don't get to go back, or you get to go back port pretty quick. But you're done. We get angled, he misses, and we put out the fire. Now here, we're going to let ourselves go dark here. We weren't able to capture the base because of the Cleveland, so we just moved forward. We got a cruiser capturing the base in the middle. We got our destroyer capturing the base behind us. So now the goal here is to go dark. Pray that we don't get set on fire, and then push out and try to close the distance on this Cleveland. Remember, we do have that engine boost on the Georgia as well, and this is one of those situations where that engine boost comes in real handy. So we get very fortunate not to be set on fire. We are not spotted. Georgia decently sneaky as well, especially for as big a ship as it is. Remember, this is essentially an Iowa-class battleship. It just has 18-inch guns. So it's pretty sneaky, considering I think the normal Iowas are 13.8 with the concealment system mod. Now here you can see I was thinking about shooting Scharnhorst, but Scharnhorst is about to die. So no reason for us to take that shot and get spotted. Continue being cannon fodder for this Cleveland. The goal for us is to close the distance, make it harder for this Cleveland to dodge us. He's going to run out of room eventually, right? You can only kite for so long. Our team has secured the caps, which secures the win. They only have 2 ships left. We've got 130,000 damage, so we've done our part. We have 4 procs of the Epic mod. We catch him turning in here, and I thought that this was going to be an absolute smash. We get a couple of overpins. It's like, really? 1 overpin and 1 ricochet off of a Cleveland that's turning in. I think we hit his turret. But even then, I find it hard to believe that the turret face of a Cleveland-class cruiser is ricocheting an 18-inch shell with plunging fire. Like, I find that hard to believe. Now here you can see he just fired his guns again. Look how accurate this was. I was like, okay, that's going to hurt for sure. And of course, it looks so good, and then they all just fall short, and only 2 shells manage to impact the target. 1 pins, the other one doesn't. This guy, I told you, this guy's RNG is off the chain. Like, it's stupid how lucky this man gets for the entirety of this match. And then, of course, he goes out, he wants to do the T-Bull shuffle. He's going to go run to the border and try to use abuse the physics to get an advantage here. We're just going to wait for him to run into the border so that it doesn't affect our auto-aim. much like hitting an island, if you shoot before they get to the border, your shells are going to overshoot the target. So we wait for him to bump into the border, and then we time it perfectly. This should have been a kill. That should be a kill. 100% of the time, that guy should be dead. 5 overpins in that situation where he's being forced to turn towards us, raising that Citadel out of the water, is unbelievably unlucky. Unbelievably unlucky. The man, and then of course he gets a fire, and then he dies. Now we're going to go ahead and damage con that. His last salvo's in the air. Not likely to get a fire, obviously, because we're still immune. Now, watch what I do next. This is what everybody gets wrong. One of the few things that I want to point out during this match that I do differently than everybody else. Look at the positioning of our teammates, right? They're grabbing Charlie. That's going to ensure the win, right? This destroyer's not going to be able to do anything. Pay attention to when we get spotted. We're already spotted. He's not in his smoke, so he is coming out to the left, right? So rather than going at the smoke screen, which is what a lot of people would do here, you can assume that he's coming out the left side of the smoke screen because he spotted you outside of the smoke screen, right? He can't spot you if he's in a smoke screen. So he's coming outside. We're letting the cruiser to our right go straight ahead into the smoke screen. He's going to cut off the potential for the destroyer to go right. Our job is to cut off the destroyer from being able to get around our left side. What we're going to do is we're going to force him to the border. The guy is in an American destroyer, so he's not got the greatest concealment in the world. Usually 5.2 to 5.5. So anywhere in that neighborhood, you know that you're going to spot this guy. So if you can just force him to the border, and here you go. He gets spotted at 5.7 kilometers. We forced him to the border. He's got 381 kills on his summers, which is kind of disgusting. Or maybe that's not a frag camo. I don't know. But we take a shot out at the summers, and we just absolutely punish him with the fronts and the rears. But again, we're shooting AP. I know a lot of people tell you should shoot HE here, but if I shoot HE at this guy, there's a good chance that his guns and his AA ends up eating up my shells. Whereas if I shoot AP, I'm guaranteed damage with overpins. So you can see I've done a lot of damage to this man with overpins. He's trying to sneak around the border, and unfortunately, before we can get the rear gun to fire, the Belfast finishes him off. But still, it was a perfect play to showcase how you can use the map to your advantage, pin those guys so that they can't get your side. But 2,500 base XP, 161,000 damage, 46 targets hit in the Georgia. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Are you enjoying the epic mods on all of your ships? Have you gotten any of the legendary mods? I haven't spent that kind of steel for the legendary mods yet. But let me know what you guys think. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.